Hey guys, it's Beverly from sweatyandfit.com. Today I am going to be filming my first ever vlog for you. I realized that I'd never introduced myself before or kind of explained my fitness journey, so I figured what better place to do this than when I'm back at home in Calgary. I'm visiting my parents for the weekend, just because I don't get to see them that often as I live in Toronto. So yeah, I'm here in my room that I grew up in and about to tell you my story. So as I was growing up, I always played a lot of sports and I was always involved in like everything. Was I very good at these sports? Not really. I was really good at badminton and pretty good at rugby. In fact, I actually played rugby for several years when I was growing up in Calgary. I played club and then I also played for Alberta. And then when I went away to school, I also played for UBC on the varsity team and also played for BC out there, as well as for different clubs here and there. Rugby was always a really big part of my life and is part of the reason why I'm so into fitness and health and everything now. When I was playing rugby, I'd be training all the time, like 6-7 days a week. If I didn't have rugby practice, we would have games. If we didn't have games, I'd be working out in the gym or doing conditioning sessions or going for runs in the morning, whatever it was. So I was always really into health and fitness, but it was always very sport related. After I graduated from UBC, I stopped playing rugby altogether just due to too many injuries, and I just couldn't stay committed with with everything else going on. So I decided I wanted to start up a website. At the time I was living in Toronto. I just moved there for work and I didn't really know anybody at all. So I had a lot of time to spend on YouTube just learning how to make websites and how to use iMovie and everything else. And I knew that it was something that I really wanted to do. My friends were always asking me to train them or like to give them a circuit or whatever. So I figured this was a great place to start. When I was living in Toronto, I also started doing Muay Thai. It had been something that I've been wanting to do like my entire life. Like 5 days a week, I was training at Muay Thai. I would get there at 6 p.m. and like get home at 9. And then I'd wake up early the next morning and go for a run. And so I was working out so often. Eventually I got really sick. I don't know if there was actually a correlation between how much I was working out, but I got so sick that I was in hospital for 7 days. I'd come down with pneumonia, and the pneumonia had also attacked my kidneys, so I had kidney failure as well. When I was in hospital, I didn't eat anything. I'd have like a sip of milk for breakfast, and then lunch and dinner I'd pretty much just ignore the entire breakfast or the entire meal tray. I lost 15 pounds when I was in there. I couldn't really do anything. I couldn't go to the bathroom. I was pushed around in a wheelchair. It was just a really tough time in my life. And when I finally got out of hospital, I didn't work out for like the next 2 months. I couldn't do anything. And then after 2 months, I decided, okay, I'm gonna try to go for like a jog. And I remember I went for a run and I would run for like 30 seconds or minutes. And then I ran out of energy completely and would have to walk for 10 minutes. And then I'd run again for another 30 seconds or a minute and then walk for another 10. I was just like crying the entire time. It was quite the sight, and I really hope nobody saw me. Coming back from that was probably one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. And coming from somebody who was so fit and so healthy, or so I thought I was, not being able to run for 30 seconds was very, very traumatizing for me. And so, yeah, I have had to come back from being at the very bottom. It took me like 4 months to kind of get back to exercising back to normal after that. So although being in hospital was probably one of the worst times of my life, it was probably good for me as well because it made me open my eyes and realize that I'd been pushing myself too hard. I was trying to work out all the time, but I wasn't also giving my body the things that it needed, like protein that it required and the nutrition. After that bout in the hospital, I really took a step back from everything and kind of surveyed what I'd been doing and what changes I needed to make. The next year, I started my website, sweatyandfit.com, after doing a year of learning how to do iMovie and make videos and everything. I finally came out with it. My website is pretty much my baby for when it comes to my health and fitness. I post all my workouts that I do on there. I post recipes that I make, different articles, product reviews. It's quite the journey having to be a blogger. You're always constantly trying to find new content and to reach new people all the time, and there's ups and downs with it, but in the end I love what I do and I hope one day I can do it full time, but we'll see where things go. In addition to my website, I also got my personal training certificate this year, which I was very happy about. I actually have my certificate with me. So yeah, I did it through the NSCA, which is an American certification, and it's very highly regarded. It's a great institution, so I'm glad I did it through them. I wrote the exam at the end of July and passed with 84%. So yay! I don't have to worry about that anymore. And now I'm hoping just to move on and kind of do other certifications within nutrition or kettlebell. I just want to continue expanding my mind and learning more and more when it comes to fitness and working out. On the side, I also do some sports modeling. So I'm with an agency based out of Vancouver, and with them I've had the opportunity to work with Lululemon and Sugoi and Fitness Depot and some other companies along with that. I'm quite lucky to have these opportunities, as modeling is really one of the most fun jobs to have. Everybody's always in such a good mood when you go to a fitness shoot. There's food everywhere, there's a person that's doing your hair and makeup, although it's usually just in a ponytail, but yeah, it's always a great time, and I'm really blessed to be able to do that, and hopefully I can continue to do it in the near future. So also with modeling, the thing is that castings can happen at any time, no matter what season. So if it's winter, summer, whatever, I could get called into a casting, and I want to make sure that I'm always looking my best. So I don't really agree with a bulking season or whatever. I like to keep in consistent shape all year round. I do that by changing up my workouts all the time. A lot of the workouts that I post on my website, and I used to do a lot of these kind of workouts, are circuit and HIIT exercises. So high intensity body weight workouts or with lighter weight. So I was doing that for a long time, but then I started to find that it wasn't getting very challenging and they weren't as hard as they once were. And I changed up my routine a little while ago and started focusing more on deadlifts and squats and front squats and bench press. And so I've been doing that for a couple months, and I've really seen a lot of changes both within my body and my strength, which is really exciting. And in the next couple weeks, I'm going to be changing it up again and focusing more on high reps and a little bit lower weight and just cycling through that. I find that's kind of the best way to work out because it always keeps you interested, but you also get to see lots of progress within your own strength. If you're ever interested in learning more about my workout routine, just please send me a message through my website. I guess that's really all I have to say. If you want to reach me, follow me on Instagram at Sweaty and Fit, or you can subscribe to my YouTube channel. And of course, you can reach me through my website, www.sweatyandfit.com. I have a contact page that you can access. And yeah, thanks so much for watching and listening to me rant on about myself. I hope you guys have a great day.